सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। हरि ओम, जय गुरुदेव। We'll start chanting wonderful Atma Bodha from first shloka. I hope my voice and screen both are legible and audible.
Yes, yes.
धन्यवाद। प्रातः स्मरामि दिशं स्फुरदात्मतत्त्वम् सच्चित् सुखं परमहंस गतिं तुरीयम् यत् स्वप्नजागर सुषुप्तमवेति नित्यम् तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमहं न च भूतसंगः। तपोभीक्षीणपापाणां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। बोधोऽन्यसाधनयो हि साक्षान्मोक्षैकसाधनम् पाकस्य वह्निवज्ञानं विना मोक्षो न सिद्ध्यति। अविरोधितया कर्म नाविद्यां विनिवर्तयेत् विद्या विद्यां निहन्त्येव तेजस्तिमिरसङ्गवत्। परिच्छिन्नैवाज्ञानात् तन्नाशे सति केवलः स्वयं प्रकाशते ह्यात्मा मेघापायेषुमानिव। अज्ञानकलुषं जीवं ज्ञानाभ्यासाद् विनिर्मलं कृत्वा ज्ञानं स्वयं नश्येत् जलं कतकरेणुवत्। संसारस्वप्नतुल्यो हि रागद्वेषादिसङ्कुलः स्वकाले सत्यवद्भाति प्रबोधे सत्यसद्भवेत्। तावत् सत्यं जगत् भाति शुक्तिकारजतं यथा यावन्न ज्ञायते ब्रह्म सर्वाधिष्ठानमद्वयम्। उपादानेऽखिलाधारे जगन्ति परमेश्वरे सर्गस्थितिलयान्यान्ति बुद्बुदानीव वारिणी सच्चिदात्मन्यनुस्यूते नित्ये विष्णौ प्रकल्पिताः व्यक्तयो विविधात् सर्वा आटके कटकादिवत् यथाकाशो ऋषिकेशो नानोपाधिगतो विभुः तद्भेदाद् भिन्नवद्भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्. So we had seen till shloka 10th and we will start with the 11th shloka, but before that I will just read a paragraph previous to the. When an individual ego associates with its various limiting factors, upadhis, the cause for this world of plurality comes to manifest. When once these forces of limitation are destroyed, the one truth that is the basis of existence for everything shines forth as the one sun of all the world, and the one dynamic truth of life is rediscovered as functioning through all the existence. Without it, there is no existence. And with this Vibhu, everything comes to exist. The Atman is one and the same before and after its realization. But when it groans under certain imaginary limitations, all due to the wrong estimations of the distorting mind, we superimpose upon it certain upadhis. And when these false limitations are removed, it is realized and rediscovered as the one self ever dwelling everywhere. So once the reality is rediscovered, all the superimposant, all those shobhadhyasan, it gets over and there will be one shining. I mean, it will be the real pearl which will be recognized. It is just, remember the word realization, recognition. It is not, it is effortless. If anyone can put it in a better words, kindly contribute whatever so far we have covered in Atma Bodh. Like we have our own limited knowledge about our physical body, mind, and intellect. Aham kinchit dagnya, aham alpagnya. But once we realize that we are part of that infinite, that akhand satchitananda swarupa, then these all superimpositions are removed. If anyone would like to share, please unmute and share. नानोपाधिवशादेव जातिवर्णाश्रमादयः आत्मन्यारोपितास्तो ये रसवर्णादिभेदवत्. Nanopadhivashat, because of association with different conditionings, upadhis, eva, only, jati varna shramadayah, caste, color, position, etc. Atmani, upon the Atma, aropitah, are superimposed, toe, on water, rasa varnadi bhedavata, differences such as flavor, color, etc. Nanopadhivashat eva jati varnashramadayah atmani aropitah toye rasavarnadibhedavat. Because of its association with different conditionings, upadhis, such ideas as caste, color, and position are superimposed upon the Atman as flavors, colors, etc. are superimposed on water. I repeat once again, because of its association with different conditionings, upadhis, such ideas as caste, color, and position are superimposed upon the Atman as flavor, color, etc. are superimposed on water. Whether one is an advocate, a doctor, or a potter, the inner personality factors are the same. The education obtained, the apprenticeship undergone, the education obtained, the apprenticeship undergone, and the profession pursued are the only differences. They are all of one community, the community of man, but in their outer description and address, each differ from all others. Similarly, life is the same everywhere, but the expression of life manifested through each one of them differs from all others. I read once again. Whether one is an advocate, a doctor, or a potter, the inner personality factors are the same. The education obtained, the apprenticeship undergone, and the profession pursued are the only differences. They are all of one community, the community of man, but in their outer description and address, each differ from all others. Similarly, life is the same everywhere, but the expression of life manifested through each one of them differs from all others. Whatever be the physical shape and form, name or caste, whatever be the emotional beauty or intellectual grasp exhibited, the Atman is the same everywhere in all creatures. There is no difference such as a young Atman, an old Atman, a Christian Atman, a Hindu Atman, a poor Atman, a rich Atman, etc. The life-giving truth in the varied existence of things is the one reality which equally thrills the entire panorama of things, persons, and personalities. It remains unaffected by and unattached to all outward marks, always a dispassionate observer of the endless drama of life. Please pay attention. This is the takeaway of the whole Atma bodha. I will read once again. Whether one is an advocate, a doctor, or a potter, the inner personality factors are the same. The education obtained, the apprenticeship undergone, and the profession pursued are the only differences. They are all of one community, the community of man, but in their outer description and address, each differ from all others. Similarly, life is the same everywhere, but the expression of life manifested through each one of them differs from all others. Whatever be the physical shape and form, name or caste, whatever be the emotional beauty or intellectual grasp exhibited, the Atman is the same everywhere in all creatures. There is no difference such as a young Atman, an old Atman, a Christian Atman, a Hindu Atman, a poor Atman, a rich Atman, etc. The life-giving truth in the varied existence of things is the one reality, which equally thrills the entire panorama of things, persons, and personalities. It remains unaffected by and unattached to all outward marks, always a dispassionate observer of the endless drama of life. The same electric current alone causes the fan to revolve, the refrigerator to cool its contents, the light to burn differently in the green, blue, or red bulbs. Because of the difference in the manifestations of the energy as it passes through the different equipments, ignorant people call them all by different names. Yet, the electricity wise man understands them all as depending upon the one energy. So there is only one life force which is going in and through all the beings around us. It is not difference. It remains unattached, dispassionate. Remember these two words? It remains unattached, dispassionate observer. So it is the same electricity which runs all the different equipments in different shapes and different forms. But the underlying truth is, it is just the same electricity. Water itself is colorless, although a given sample of it may be white, another yellow, and yet another sample red, each depending upon the nature of the extraneous matter it contains. In the same way, according to the type of vasanas in each individual, there seems to be difference between man and man. If we remove the contamination caused by the limitations, upadhis, and understand and experience the one inner spirit which runs through all the individuals, we would realize that the difference we have been perceiving is merely a superimposition on that one glorious reality, without whose illumination life would be dark and impossible, a non-existent non-entity. I will read once again this beautiful paragraph. Water itself is colorless, although a given sample of it may be white, another yellow, and yet another sample red, each depending upon the nature of the extraneous matter it contains. In the same way, according to the type of vasanas in each individual, there seems to be difference between man and man. If we remove the contamination caused by the limitations, upadhis, and understand and experience the one inner spirit which runs through all the individuals, we would realize that the difference we have been perceiving is merely a superimposition on that one glorious reality, without whose illumination life would be dark and impossible, a non-existent non-entity. If anyone would like to share, please unmute and share. पञ्चीकृतमहाभूतः सम्भवं कर्म सञ्चितं शरीरं सुखदुःखानां भोगायतनमुच्यते भोगायतनमुच्यते. Panchikritam, the five elements that have gone through the process of fivefold self-division and mutual combination. Mahabhuta Bhuta Sambhavam, made up of the five elements. Karma Sanchitam, determined by one's own past actions. Shariram, the gross body. Sukha Dukkhanam, for pleasure and pain. Bhogayatanam, medium of experiencing, uchyate is said. Panchikritam mahabhuta sambhavam karma sanchitam shariram sukha dukkhanam bhogayatanam uchyate. Determined for each individual by his own past actions and made up of the 5 elements that have gone through the process of a 5-fold self-division and mutual combination, panchikarana, are born the gross body, the medium through which pleasure and pain are experienced, the tent of experiences. I will repeat once again. Determined for each individual by his own past actions and made up of the 5 elements that have gone through the process of a 5-fold self-division and mutual combination, panchikarana, are born the gross body, the medium through which pleasure and pain are experienced, the tent of experiences. Now we come to analyze how the limiting factors or upadhis emerge, the biographical story of the growth and development of the bodies or layers of matter beneath which the Atman revels as luminous consciousness. The 3 bodies are called the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. I read once again the paragraph. Now we come to analyze how the limiting factors or upadhis emerge, the biographical story of the growth and development of the bodies or layers of matter beneath which the Atman revels as luminous consciousness. The 3 bodies are called the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body.
Can you please read the 2 sentences again? Thank you.
Yes. Now we come to analyze how the limiting factors or upadhis emerge, the biographical story of the growth and development of the bodies or layers of matter beneath which the Atman revels as luminous consciousness. The 3 bodies are called the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. Yeah, I hope the earth of the meaning of the 12th shloka, I will read once again because it is very, very important. It is not that God gives us whatever we are today. It is we only. Determine for each individual. I'm reading the stanza artha. Determined for each individual by his own past actions and made up of the 5 elements that have gone through the process of a 5-fold self-division and mutual combination, panchikarana, are born the gross body, the medium through which pleasure and pain are experienced, the tent of experiences. The gross body is composed of the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. Observe the history of the body after death during its disintegration. Soon after life has departed from it, the heat contents pass out and the body becomes icy cold, fire. It also bloats up and emits gas, air, and soon it decays in its own juicy contents, water. And finally, the bare physical structure decays to dust, earth. The space occupied by the body is yielded back, akasha. I will read once again all the 5 elements. The gross body is composed of the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. Observe the history of the body after death during its disintegration. Soon after life has departed from it, the heat contents pass out and the body becomes icy cold, fire. It also bloats up and emits gas, air, and soon it decays in its own juicy contents, water. And finally, the bare physical structure decays to dust, earth. The space occupied by the body is yielded back, akasha. So once the body, the prana departs, slowly each element also departs. First the fire, then the air, then water, then earth, and finally it merges with the akasha. In all creation, the gross is derived from its subtler state, and we all know that the cause precedes the effect. In the theory of Panchikarana, tad matram, that alone. There is a footnote in the theory of Panchikarana, that is tad matram, that alone. It is very elaborately pointed out how these 5 elements are evolved, how they intermingle, and how from the subtle tanmatras, the gross elements come about. I hope you can see the 5-fold self-division and mutual combination, Panchikarana. If any one of you can kindly explain, because I cannot explain. There are different elements and different stages. I will just read the table. Kindly forgive me if I make any mistake. There are 5 stages of evolution for the 5 elements, and their descriptions are given as tanmatras, each in itself in the first stage. Then in the second stage, tendency to divide into 2 equal parts. The third stage, the split complete. For each element, there is equal split in the third stage. In the fourth stage, 1/2 remaining intact, the others split into 4. For each element, the 1/2 remains intact and the others split into 4 divisions. Means space divided into 4, air divides itself into 4. And in the last stage, 5th stage, each half married with 4 bits borrowed from all others. If anyone can explain, it's fine. So in the last stage, it is again the half remains untouched. Only in the half there will be division. There will be.
Jai Gurudev. It was described in Tattva Bodha in detail, like how this is the tamas aspect of the 5 subtle elements, which is further like this divided. The tamas aspect of each of the 5 elements, they divide into first into 2 halves, then 1/2 remains intact, the other half of each gets divided into 4 equal parts. Then the intact half of one element and the 1/8 portion from each of the 4 elements, they gets joined, and this way the Panchikarana gets completed. The 4 divisions, like these 4 divisions, the one intact and one of this 4, 1/4, 1/8, it would be called 1/8, though they are 4, but on the whole it will be called 1/8 part of each element would join to form the gross body.
Okay.
So
Dhanyavad,
this
sir.
was the evolution of the tamasic aspect of evolution. It was like the tamas aspect.
Okay. Okay. The five great elements are space, air, fire, water, and earth. Before their grossifications, they were each themselves, and in their pure natural states, they are called the Tanmatra. Tad Matram. Tanmatra, Tad Matram, that alone. Their grossifications takes place in 5 definite scientific stages. Stage 1, they remain in their own individual pure state. Stage 2, each tanmatra of all the 5 elements shows a tendency to split into 2 equal halves. Stage 3, they split into 2 halves. Stage 4, at this stage, half tanmatra of each element remains intact and the other half divides itself into 4 equal bits, each bit being 1/8 of the whole tanmatra. Thus, at this stage, each tanmatra of stage 1 has split into 5 segments, 1/2 bit and 4 1/8 bits. Yeah, here you can see. So Savita ji very well explained. Yeah. Shall I repeat once again? The first stage, they remain in their own individual pure state. Stage 2, each tanmatra, that is that alone, tad matram, of all 5 elements. Each tanmatra of all the 5 elements shows a tendency to split into 2 equal halves. Stage 3, they split into 2 halves. Stage 4, at this stage, half tanmatra of each element remains intact and the other half divides itself into 4 equal bits, each bit being 1/8 of the whole tanmatra. Thus, at this stage, each tanmatra of stage 1 has split into 5 segments, 1/2 bit and 4 1/8 bits. Stage 5, in this last stage, each half remains the same and it combines with the 4 1/8 bits borrowed from all other 4 elements. Thus, the gross sky element, 1/2 of sky element plus 1/8 of air plus 1/8 of fire plus 1/8 of water and 1/8 of earth element. For air element, 1/2 remains intact from the air plus 1/8 of sky, 1/8 of fire, 1/8 of water plus 1/8 of earth element. For the fire element also, 1/2 of fire plus 1/8 of sky, 1/8 of air, 1/8 of water and 1/8 of earth element. For water element, 1/2 of water remains as it is, plus 1/8 of sky, 1/8 of akash, 1/8 of fire, and 1/8 of earth element. For the earth element also, the half remains intact and the rest 1/8 of sky, 1/8 of air, plus 1/8 of fire, and 1/8 of water. So this is a beautiful scientific explanation given here for all the 5 elements during the Panchikarana. The human body, as already stated, is the equipment with which we perceive things. And it is with the sense organs available in the body that we derive our quota of pleasure and pain, which in turn give us a measure of our success and failure in our individual lives. Are you getting too much of breaking of my voice? Because there is continuous notification. The internet is unstable. Please let me know if there is too much of breakage. Then one of you can read. I will just share the screen. Please let me know, okay? The enjoyment of pleasure and pain, bodha, in this physical body, the hut of pleasure, the hall of experience is determined by our past karmas. Thought by thought, action by action, we have demanded the present body and mental equipment. In fact, even while we are alive and acting here now, we order the shape of the future life to be. Unless we conquer the bad vasanas by right conduct and practice systematically the righteous values of life, we do not come to live in an atmosphere in which our thoughts and actions are sufficiently divine and to be directly helpful for our own progressive evolution. If therefore now rests with us to make or mar our progress, to get a better life with plenty of opportunities in which we can slowly and steadily go forward and ultimately come to realize the supreme truth, or to get a wicked one in which we can dive ourselves into a greater gloom. With our own actions, we give a blueprint to God, ordering the exact shape of our destiny, and according to the specifications given, the body, the tent or experience is built and handed over to each one of us by the all-merciful, omnipotent, divine creator. There was a constant notification. This is very important paragraph. Please let me know if there was a breakage of voice. There is constant notification. If someone can read, I can share the screen because my voice is the notification constant.
I am ready to read.
Yeah,
Binaji.
please go ahead
But
and read.
my
Because
reading is not that fluent like yours.
no, it's okay. I mean, this is something very, very important. I don't want any word to be lost due to my technical issue. So please go ahead and read. And from I think from this line onwards, because there is constant notification for.
But your voice
internet.
is stable, like it's fine.
Is it?
Yeah, Binaji, you read.
Fine.
Let's see if lot of disturbance is there. Then I will take it.
No, you take
Which
over because
paragraph?
this is, yeah, the human body.
The human body has already stated is the equipment with which we perceive things, and it is with the sense organs available in the body that we derive our quota of pleasure and pain, which in their turn give us a measure of our success and failure in our individual lives. The enjoyment of pleasure and pain, bhoga, in this physical body, the hut of pleasure, the hall of experience is determined by our past karmas. Thought by thought, action by action, we have demanded the present body and mental equipment. In fact, even while we are alive and acting here now, we order the shape of the future life to be. Unless we conquer the bad vasanas by right conduct and practice systematically the righteous value of life, we don't come to live in an atmosphere in which our thoughts and actions are sufficiently divine and to be directly helpful for our own progressive evolution. It therefore now rests with us to make or mar our progress, to get a better life with plenty of opportunities in which we can slowly and steadily go forward and ultimately come to realize the supreme truth, or to get a wicked one in which we can dive ourselves into a greater bloom. With our own actions, we give a blueprint to God, ordering the exact shape of our destiny, and according to the specifications given, the body, the tent or experience is built and handed over to each one of us by the all merciful, omnipotent, divine creator. Oh my God, for every smallest thing, we ourselves are responsible. Our own Purushartha can take us up, or our own vasanas and actions can take us down. Anybody wants to share or extend something on this?
Madhuri ji, kindly read it. So beautiful. Read once again, please.
Yeah, sure.
Very, very nice and very, very important.
Each and every word is important because this is the otherwise in our day-to-day mundane life, what we have heard from others and even our own this thing, Bhagwan kar raha hai. Arey, my bad.
No voice.
माधुरी जी आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है.
No sound, no audio.
Yeah, I think her internet or something. Anyone else can read?
No, Belaji, you are clear. We don't mind it.
Is it? No, because there is.
Yeah, but we are listening you correctly.
Okay.
I'm available, Bela. In case your voice is breaking a bit, I will take over. Okay.
Please take over.
Brahmaraji, kindly take over because there is a constant notification on my screen that there is a breaking of voice.
Okay.
So
No
I can continue to share. I will just read this. You want me to read or you can read? This is very important shloka. Very, very important.
Excuse me,
So-
Bella. I just joined and sorry that I got late. But what are we reading now? Can you just what
We're doing
shloka is this one? Oh,
It's about
basically the Panchikaranam.
Panchikaranam. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, thanks.
So would you like to read from here, Brahmaraji?
Yeah, I'll start from here. The human body, as already stated, is the equipment with which we perceive things. And it is with the sense organs available in the body that we derive our quota of pleasure and pain, which in their turn give us a measure of our success and failure in our individual lives. The enjoyment of pleasure and pain, bhoga, in this physical body, the hut of pleasure, the hall of experience, is determined by our own past karmas. Thought by thought, action by action, we have demanded the present body and mental equipment. In fact, even while we are alive and acting here now, we order the shape of the future life to be. Unless you'll have to scroll up. Yeah. Unless we conquer the bad vasanas by right conduct and practice systematically the righteous values of life, we do not come to live in an atmosphere in which our thoughts and actions are sufficiently divine and to be directly helpful for our own progressive evolution. It therefore now rests with us to make or mar our progress, to get a better life with plenty of opportunities in which we can slowly and steadily go forward and ultimately come to realize the supreme truth, or to get a wicked one in which we can dive ourselves into a greater gloom. With our own actions, we give a blueprint to God, ordering the exact shape of our destiny. And according to the specifications given, the body, the tent of experience, is built and handed over to each one of us by the all-merciful, omnipotent, divine creator. Basically, the whole point is that we are responsible for everything, for our feelings, our emotions, whatever we're going through in this life. It is because of our past karmas, and we are also laying the blueprint for the future life by our thoughts, our actions. So in this life, what we need to do is to, can you just scroll, go down a little, go down or up, I don't know what it is. The previous paragraph.
Overcome the bad vasanas.
Yeah, so how do we overcome the bad vasanas? We conquer the bad vasanas by right conduct and practice systematically the righteous values of life. Basically, live a life of dharma. Again, coming back to karma yoga. So you be a karma yogi, and then our thoughts and actions are sufficiently divine. Along with karma yoga, you practice dhyana yoga so that there is that antakarana shuddhi happens when you practice karma yoga, and you're living a dharmic life. You're not living your life based on your raga dveshas, because it is with these sense organs that we experience success, failure, we experience the world of objects outside. So if we let loose and let the senses drive our actions and our thoughts, then we are no better than an adharmic person, a karmi, who just tosses and turns over because of his raga dveshas. So there you have a hold on your senses. Say no, do whatever is according to dharma, whatever has to be done, you do. Alongside that, practicing dhyana yoga, listening to knowledge, all of this will refine our thought process so that we get diviner thoughts, and that will aid our progressive evolution. So it is all in our own hands. We cannot say, oh, Guruji got this, Guruji gave me this. It is not Guruji. He cannot help because we have created that. We have laid the blueprint ourselves. If good has happened to us, it is because of our own doing. Of course, there is an element of grace, but then most of it, we have created it our own.
Ordering the exact shape of our destiny.
Yeah.
So good they have written that.
And see it, whether you want to go up the ladder or dive down and get into a greater gloom. All that depends on you, on whether you befriend your mind, uddhared atmanatmanam, or do you want to become a slave to your mind, become an Indriya Rama rather than an Atma Rama. Right. Should we go to the next shloka? Anyone wants to add or say anything here? Pancha prana mano buddhihi dashendriya samanvitam apanchikrita bhutotham sukshmangam bhoga sadhanam. Pancha prana, the 5 pranas, the manifestation of life in our body. Mano buddhihi, mind and intellect. Dashendriya, the 10 organs. Samanvitam, combined. Apanchikrita bhutotham, formed from the rudimentary elements before their panchikarana. Sukshmangam, the subtle body. Bhoga sadhanam, instrument of experience. Pancha prana mano buddhihi dashendriya samanvitam apanchikrita bhutotham sukshmangam bhoga sadhanam. The 5 pranas, the 10 organs, and the manas and the buddhi, formed from the rudimentary elements, tanmatras, before their 5-fold division and mutual combination with one another, panchikarana, and this is the subtle body, the instruments of experience of the individual. So basically, we are doing a revision of Tattva Bodh right now. In the lower wombs of the plant and the animal, and the higher beings of the human and the celestial, there are vast differences. But behind all these wonderful differences, to any discriminative intellect capable of seeing things in their correct and true perspective, there is one pulsating force that plays the song of life through all these various equipments. If there be such a oneness of existence everywhere, why is there a series of different experiences within myself? And why then, again, the various grades of life outside? Vedanta has not only theoretically dealt with this question, but a practical approach has been made to this problem. A very convincing answer indeed is given to this deep doubt. So what is the doubt? That is, why is there so much of difference? Different wombs like the plants and animals, humans and celestials. If there is only one force that is pulsating through all of these, then why do we in our own body have different experiences within our own self, and then various grades of life outside? In this stanza, the term prana is to be correctly understood. It is the manifestation of life in our body. And the 5 pranas are the 5 departments of life's activities, or categories of prana functioning departmentally in 5 ways. They are, the first one, prana is that life force which controls and regulates the various activities in our sense organs. It is because of this dynamic energy that life is evident in sense perceptions. Second, apana is the excretory system in a healthy body. The capacity to reject the unnecessary and unwanted poisonous things from the body. Third, dhyana expresses life's. So prana here, it is not just a mechanical breathing in and out. It is the very expression of life. Okay, that is the definition of prana. Third, dhyana expresses life's functions in the digestive system, which makes the food ready for absorption by the body. Fourth, samana. I think there's a little maybe interchange here from what we've understood from what we read in Tattva Bodha. I think we did this last time also. We went through this difference. Dhyana is actually digestive which regulates the digestive system functions, whereas samana is the one that takes care of the digestion and absorption, whereas vyana is the one that distributes the digested food with equity and justice, as the very word indicates, according to the need of the moment to each part. But doesn't matter what. We know that these 5 pranas have different departments. We don't need to really be. So maybe Swamiji may explain it this way here. More food goes to our hands if we are cutting wood or breaking stones, and more for the legs if we are running or walking. Udana is the 5th, is the capacity to rise up and peep into fresh fields of knowledge by which the existing wrong notions are removed by the newly acquired convictions and experiences, the capacity in us to evolve or devolve in our thoughts. As the one central government holds its sway over the whole country from its seat in New Delhi, so too, the one self is the life that has its sway over the whole body, and it functions from the heart cave. The government of the body is conducted through the different pranas that are referred to above. Any government will have its various ministers. One life alone expresses itself in its 5 different moods, and each performs a different function in this physical body, as each minister is in charge of a given department, and all of them are expressions of the one government in power. Prana controls the perceptions at the different sense organs. The spots on the physical body at which sense perceptions seem to function are not in themselves the sense organs. For instance, the 2 eyes are only instruments, golayas, through which the power of vision beams forth, and the exact power of vision is in essence located in the mind-intellect equipment. If the mind does not come in contact with the sense organs, then no perception is possible. You'll have to go up, Bela. A man in deep thoughts or sleep does not see and recognize the person standing by his side because his mind has not gone out through the eyes to see the object before him. So in Vedanta, the theory of perception is that consciousness riding over the mind flows through the sense organs and reaches the object, Ghata Desha, and takes the shape of the object. Then we have the knowledge, Vritti Jnanam, this is the object, I am Ghataha. Which actually in quantum physics is the observer. The importance of the observer is there. If the observer is not there, then there is nothing. The reality or so of anything that we perceive depends upon the observer. So unless the mind, the consciousness in the form of the mind flows out through the sense organs to the world outside, only then can we perceive things. A person who is blind, for instance, has 2 eyes, yes, physical eyes are there, but he's not able to perceive things because the mind-intellect equipment is not functioning. There is some defect of that. There is some, the pathway doesn't work there because of his blindness, whatever the reason he's blind. Similarly, a person who's in deep sleep, there may be a beautiful scenery in front of him, but to him, that scenery is not there because he's in deep sleep. This subtle body, constituted of the 5 pranas, the 10 sense organs, the mind and intellect, the instrument with which we experience pain and pleasure, is made out of the 5 great elements called the rudimentary elements, tanmatras, before they had gone through the process of their 5-fold subdivision and mutual combination which is Panchikarana. While the physical body explained in the last stanza is an establishment serving as the hall of experience, the subtle body formed out of the rudimentary elements, tanmatras, is that by which or through which the enjoyment of the objects in the outer world is rendered possible. The subtle body is constituted of the instruments of experience. One is Bhoga Ayatanam, the other one is Bhoga Sadhanam. So the physical body is made of the, like Dr. Savita ji rightly mentioned, it's made from the Panchikarana of the tamas aspects of all the 5 great elements. Whereas before the Panchikarana can happen, the sense organs, 5 pranas, the mind and intellect are formed from the 5 great elements, the tanmatras, before the Panchikarana. Does anyone want a repetition of this? I think it is quite clear, no? Unless anyone wants to kind of summarize the whole thing.
I have a question. So before Panchikarnam, the other sense organs and all that was formed. So how did that happen? With
That we have
I
to go
forgot
to
actually.
Tattva Bodha.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of forgot.
Tattva Bodha.
It's the effect of the Maya that these tanmatras and the grossification of the body take place due to the effect of Maya.
Yeah, everything is Maya Janitam. I understood that.
Yeah.
This gross body is because of the tamasic element, grossification of the tamasic element, or Panchikarnam of the tamasic element. But the other things, that is the sense organs, the antarkaranas, that is the
One is
sukshma
the
sharira.
tamasic, sattvic aspect, and then the other one
That
is
is the
the
sattvic
rajasic aspect.
the mind.
See, every
Mind is
great
the
element has 3 aspects to it: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas.
Yeah, understood all that. I got it now. I got it now. That is the Sukshma Sharira is the Rajasic element and the
Correct.
Karana Sharira is the Sattvic element. Is that how it? I'll go back and read it. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. No, I think we'll come to that next in the next verse. It will talk about the Karana Sharira.
Oh, okay.
One minute. Let me just give me a minute. I'll just come back.
The organs of perception is the sattvic aspect of the evolution. Like the sattvic aspect, it has the organs of perception in which you have the
Hearing
akasha,
and
or for hearing, and wide
CA.
air, touch, fire for the eye, like this, and
So that is the organs of perception.
organs
And,
of perception, and also the mind, the antakarna.
that is intellect, memory, ego.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the Rajasic element, isn't it? Of
No,
The
all
mind,
five elements.
intellect, ego is a little bit
Sattvic, is
different.
it?
It is
But
a
these
sattvic
5 elements is different from the mind, intellect, and all that stuff.
No. Everything is coming from the 5 elements. I understood that. But the Antarkarana, which I think is it Saralaji who is saying that it is from the
Yeah,
from the Sattvic element.
Yeah, the antakarna, you have that intellect also, na? Intellect, ahankara, then
Memory, ego.
chitta, yeah, the chitta. It's like it was. You have
Savikaji.
that.
Okay. Okay, so that is so this antarkarna is a sattvic element of the 5 elements. Sattvic aspect of the 5 elements, isn't it?
It's the sattvic aspect of the evolution.
Evolution. Okay.
Evolution, yeah. The 3 aspects
So then,
are sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So sattvic, you have organs of perception and the antakarna. Antakarna has the buddhi, like intellect, ahankar, then chitta.
Chitta.
Like,
Yeah. Understood. So what is the karana sharira? From where did that that I know is by the impressions. So I guess we'll come
Just
to
a
that.
second, I'm retrieving the Tattva Bodh 1 second, so that we'll clarify this doubt here itself. I was actually thinking.
Carry on, Dr. Brahma.
No, I'm just the PDF is opening. 1 second. It's taking some time from my computer. Does anyone have the Tattva Bodh ready? Okay, it's I've got it. 1 second.
Brahmaraji, you want to read the shloka or you want to read the text?
I wanted to read this Panchikarana thing where, 1 second, let me just share the screen. It's better that we clarify doubts as and when they come, so that we. Okay, these are the 5 sheets, right? Panchakoshaha ke Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya Chit. Is this where we read this, or? Karana Sharira. Dream state. Just tell me where we did this Panchikarana. I think it's before this.
I think the evolution of the 5 elements.
Before this, right.
Yeah.
I'm just coming to that. 1 second.
The organs of action, like on 43 page, and that's 40 causal bodies 43. Panchikaranam, it should come
the 3
before
bodies,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Stula Shariram Kim. Panchikrita Panchamaha Bhutaihi Kritam Satkarma Janyam Sukhadukkhadi Bhogayatanam Shariram Asti Jayate Vardhate Viparinamate Apakshiyate Vinashyatiti Shad Vikaravat Etat Stula Shariram.
Wow.
So this is that which is made up of the 5 great elements that have undergone the process of Panchikarana, born as a result of the good actions of the past, the counter of experiences like joy, sorrow, etc., and subject to the 6 modifications, namely, potentially to exist, to be born, to grow, to mature, to decay, and to die, is the gross body.
Yeah, that's one for the grossification.
This is the grossification, right? So this is the Stula Sharira. Now,
yeah, that's a Stula Sharira, right?
Next is.
And the subtle body is the next.
The subtle body. Sukshma Shariram Kim Apanchikrita Panchamaha Bhutaihi Kritam Satkarma Janyam Sukhadukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam Pancha Jnanendriyani Pancha Karmendriyani Pancha Pranadayaha Manaschaikam Buddhischaika evam Saptatasha Kalabhihi Saha Yattishtati Tat Sukshma Shariram. So before the Panchikarana, so what is the subtle body? That which is composed of the 5 great elements which have not undergone grossification. born of the good actions of the past, the instrument for the experience of joy, sorrow, etc. The Stula Sharira is the counter of experience, whereas here it is the instrument, the Sukshma Sharira, constituted of 17 items, namely the 5 sense organs of perception, the 5 sense organs of action, the 5 pranas, and the mind and intellect is the subtle body.
Yeah, we say it is Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas, right?
Correct.
So that's what the action, the thing is.
Now, Bhoga.
Intellect, and what is the other one?
The 5 sense organs, 5
mind and
organs of action, mind and intellect.
Mind, okay.
We're supposed to add ego and memory
also
too,
5
then
pranas,
become
sorry.
19.
5
Yeah.
pranas.
Hmm.
So it is 17.
Panchakosha. Yeah.
17, so it is 10 organs of action, sense organs, 5 pranas, as well as mind and intellect. I'm not going through sense organs of perception and all that here. I just want to go to the Karana Sharira. Second. Yeah, Karana Shariram Kim. Anirvachya Anadya Avidya Rupam Shariradvayasya Karana Matram Sat Swarupa Ajnanam Nirvikalpaka Rupam Yadasti Tat Karana Shariram. So that which is inexplicable, beginningless, in the form of ignorance, the sole cause of the 2 bodies, gross and subtle, ignorant of one's own true nature, free from duality, is the causal body.
That's free from duality. How is that? Because we have impressions there, no?
No, because it is ignorant of one's own true nature. The causal body is the subtlest of the 3 bodies and pervades the other 2. It is not made up of matter like the other 2 bodies. Because this is that deep sleep state, so to say. If you look at the deep sleep state, where you free from that duality at that point, no? You don't see 2 there. You just experience, you get that beautiful experience of deep sleep. But you are still covered by that veil of ignorance. So that because of that, the causal body is still, should we say, is still bound.
It's not made of any matter, it is also.
Yeah, it is not also made up of matter. So there's no it is only out of ignorance. That is why it is called Anirvachya Anadya Avidya Rupam. It is inexplicable, beginningless, in the form of ignorance. It's all of this, of course, is Maya Janitam. But if you go through how the whole process of creation has happened, from Brahma, his creative instinct of Maya, from Maya comes the 5 great elements first. And then from the 5 great elements, we have all these Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Shariras that happen. From the Tamas aspect, you have the grossification of the body. From the Rajas and Sattva aspects, actually, you have the Sukshma Sharira. And the Karana Sharira, it's again, of course, from the 5 great elements only. But then it is, I don't know whether we could place that as a sattvic aspect of that. Dr. Savita, could you, that is a little unclear to me.
Causal body.
You mean Karana Sarira? You're talking
Anandmaya Kosha, na? So it's.
I think we should go back and read it. I think.
Yeah, because causal Sharira is the blueprint. And in the blueprint, this is my understanding, and in the blueprint, we have all the good and bad impressions. So that is not Anandamaya Kosha. That is my understanding. Anandamaya Kosha is bliss, which doesn't have any impressions. It is beyond the causal body. Am I right?
No, but the causal body, they have given Anandamaya only. No?
Causal body is the
One
Karana
whole true nature.
Okay, let me read the causal body, because I think if we read this and understand, then we will understand. 6:15 already. Should we hold it now and read it tomorrow? Because I think we will all go back to Tattva Bodh.
Yeah.
Go
See,
through the PDF
it
ourselves.
is not, Savita ji, it is not that causal body, it is not made up of matter like the other two bodies. The causal body is the subtlest of the three bodies and pervades the other two.
Correct. So,
and it is not made up of matter. Because she was thinking that it is made up of matter also. No.
No, she
And,
didn't.
I think it is like a Big Bang theory. It's just there.
And the other day, someone asked Guruji, I think 2 days back in Satsang, I was in ashram. Guruji told, they asked, is causal body is same for everyone? He said yes. So I think it is not made up of matter like other bodies.
I think, Suresh ji, if you don't mind, I think we should not quote Gurudev out of context. Number one, because causal body cannot be same for everyone.
Subtlest of the three bodies and pervades the other two.
Which is true. But I think we should not quote Gurudev out of context. Like how Bhagavad Gita also, every shloka, we have to go in the context. Out of context, if we quote, then we will be negating one of them, which is not true, which is not
confusion.
right.
It's confusion.
It will only lead to confusion. So as far as possible,
I agree with you.
We should not quote anybody out of context, so that, you know, here the idea here, why we're doing Manana is to get some clarity. And as and when we have some doubts, then it is good for us to go back, read, get that clarity, get that, clarity of thought, clarity of understanding what the scripture is trying to give us. So I would suggest that all of us go back to Tattva Bodh, read the text once, understand, and maybe tomorrow we'll deal with Tattva Bodh and aspects. Anyway, even in Atma Bodh right now, what are the shlokas going on is about the Tattva Bodh only. All about the Panchikarana, how the Stula Sharira, Karana Sharira are formed. So if we can revise this now, then all our little doubts that keep cropping up, oh, what is this? What is that? So that will help. Correct? So shall we do that? For now, I think we'll hold it because it is time for us to do our Gita shloka. Even yesterday, Belaji didn't have enough time for that. And we'll park this here right now. We'll park the Stula Sukshma Karana Shariras now. Let's go back and do some revision. And we'll come back tomorrow. So, Dr. Belaji, are you there with the PDF of the Gita? Or should I?
Jai Gurudev Brahmaraji.
Yes,
Brahmaraji, I could not complete that what I promised yesterday. I have not done further the shloka.
You've not done that further?
No, my dear. I'm really sorry.
No problem. I think what we can do is we can
you
go
want
to
me
the
to share the
the PDF.
Just a minute. Huh? Give
We'll
me just
two. Yeah. In fact, before doing Atma Bodh, and the first day itself, I was thinking maybe it'll be a good idea if we revise Tattva Bodh once. But then I said, okay, let's go with the flow. Atma Bodh is happening, so let it go. But eventually, I think we had to come back to Tattva Bodh, back to basics. That is why, but it's fine. It is but natural that these doubts keep coming back, but we need to get stronger in our knowledge base. It is, I think, the 13th and 14th shloka, no? In fact, these few shlokas in the sixth chapter
Yes, 13 and 14. Yeah.
is so important because Krishna himself says, Swamiji also explains that these few shlokas are all about how to meditate. Most of the Gita talks of the meditator, about the Atma, about the self. But how to do it is explained only in few shlokas. So, which is why we have to get this clearly, understand it properly. Just 1 second. Nanak ఒకసారి చేస్తారా ఫోన్? మీ చేయండి ప్రభు, ప్లీజ్.
I'm really sorry for wasting time of your, please. 13th and 14th, you can see the shloka?
Yeah, 13th and 14th are done. Yeah, they're there.
ब्रह्मराज जी, मैंने किया नहीं है, तो एक्सप्लेनेशन करना है या सिर्फ ये?
Yeah. I think yesterday you had explained very nicely. We'll just go beyond that. There were some things about brahmachari vrate stitaha, no? So those fine-tuning we'll read now. We'll just chant the verses. Yeah, you can chant the verse.
Yeah. Samam kaya shiro grivam dharayannachalam sthiraha samprekshya nasikagram swam dishaschanavalokayan prashantatma vigatabhihi brahmachari vrate sthitah manah sanyamya matchitto yukta asita matparah. Holding oneself firm without moving, holding the body, head and neck in one straight line as though looking at the tip of one's nose and not looking in all directions, being the one whose mind is tranquil, who is free from fear, established in one's commitment to the life of a brahmachari. May that yogi meditator sit thinking of me, having me as the ultimate goal. So here I was just telling that we have to remember that it is not like actual looking at the tip of one's nose, but to remain still. The stability of the mind and body is important. And vigata bihi, the one who is a brahmachari, the one who is thinking only about Bhagwan, only about Parmeshwara, like in the back of his mind, like tambura, it is always going on that Ananta, Akhanda Brahman. Shall I take to that Vigata Bihi Brahmacharya?
Yeah, that will be fine.
I think that was here, right? Yeah, kindly, would you mind reading? Because
I will
again,
read.
there
Yeah,
is
you can go up a
repetition.
little. Go to the previous para. Yeah.
Yeah, here, Ramaraj.
Yeah. The emphasis throughout the Gita is on the meditator. In fact, there are not many verses in the Gita that talk about meditation as such, whereas the meditator is talked about a lot. If you look at the entire Gita, you will find only one or two verses, one or two other sentences on meditation itself. And this, the previous one is sitting outwardly in meditation is one thing, but there is also another sitting involved and inside sitting. This inner sitting is what is meant by the word meditation and is what is referred to by the words matchittaha matparaha. So when we sit samam kaya shiro grivam, when you sit with your spine erect and the body is still, when the body is still, the mind also tends to still. If your body is constantly moving, the mind is also agitated inside. So that stillness of the body brings in that required stillness in the mind as well, which is why we keep the physical body still, but it is also an inner sitting where your mind is hooked on to this matchitta matpara, that inner sitting. The emphasis throughout the Gita is on the meditator. Who is it that meditates is what makes the difference between a successful meditation and an unsuccessful one. A mere act of meditation. The present verse also talks a lot about the meditator, referring to the person as Prashanta Atma, one for whom the Atma, the mind, the Antakarna, has gained certain degree of tranquility. Krishna talks about the real Shanti later, the Shanti that is gained as a result of meditation and knowledge. In this verse, however, because the person being discussed is a mumukshu, a seeker, the Shanti talked about is relative and refers to the degree of tranquility one has gained by living a life of karma yoga. We know this by the context since in the previous verses, Krishna had been talking about the meditator and what he or she had accomplished thus far you'll have to go up on the page, Mila. So, all of which is conveyed here by describing the person as Prashanta Atma. The Prashanta Atma is one who has lived a life of karma yoga, who has taken care of his or her raga dveshas and is therefore no longer pressurized by them. Such a person is free from fear, vigata bhihi. There are many varieties of fear. The fear of death, for example, is said to be a very common fear for some people in the seat of meditation. When the body is as relaxed as it is in meditation, we generally go to sleep. And there is no fear because there is nobody to be afraid of. But when the body is relaxed and you do not go to sleep, there may be a feeling of going out of the body, which may give rise to the fear of death if what is happening is not properly understood. The physical relaxation itself is as though you are going out of this body. Then the entire internal defense system sends out an alarm and the person experiences fear. So fear of death, when your physical body is so relaxed and you have not fallen asleep in your seat of meditation, that can itself create an internal situation that is similar to fear, that will create that fear inside of you, because it is like an out-of-body experience. So these are all the things that can happen at the seat of meditation. Dissolution of the doer is really resolution. No matter how old you are, there is a fear in giving up the body, even though you know you have to give it up one day. However, what is involved here is the dissolution of the doer, the karta. This means the very subject, the meditator, is resolved, which is a kind of suicide. And because the person does not want to dissolve himself or herself, there is fear. In fact, there is no dissolution. There is only resolution. The resolving of the ahankara is also false because the ahankara is Atma, but Atma is not ahankara. In contemplation, the ahankara, the meditator, naturally resolves into Atma. Should I read this one more time? No matter how old
Yes,
you
please.
are, there is a fear in giving up the body, even though you know you have to give it up one day. However, what is involved here is the dissolution of the doer, the karta. This means the very subject, the meditator, is resolved, which is a kind of suicide. And because the person does not want to dissolve himself or herself, there is fear. In fact, there is no dissolution. There is only resolution. The resolving of the ahankara is also false because the ahankara is Atma. But Atma is not ahankara. There is no existence of ahankara if there is no Atma. Therefore, the ahankara is Atma, but Atma is not the ahankara. In contemplation, the ahankara, the meditator, naturally resolves into Atma. So when there is resolution, then there is no fear. Because you are merging with that consciousness, that is. The fear comes only when there is that separateness, that you think you are the karta. When the karta dissolves, karta resolves into the Atma, then there is no fear at all. The source of fear, the meditator, is Atma.
Excuse me. How
Yes.
does one get into this resolving? Any idea? Any tips?
That is what is the whole thing of Dhyana Yoga and the Jnana Yoga, right? Wherein you keep meditating, mat chittaha mat paraha, then you dissolve that. When that karta dissolves, that is when you merge with that, the Atma Tattva.
So it's a natural happening, isn't it? Otherwise, the concept is there to resolve, but it is not happening. So I understand that it is a natural happening.
Correct.
Thank you.
You start with the vritti jnana first, and then slowly that vritti jnana also, it itself will go down. It will remove that veil of ignorance, and then it brings about that, here the term used is resolution. The recognition of the Atma happens there. The source of fear, the meditator is Atma, the meditated is Atma, and the attempt is called meditation. If the attempt is successful, the meditator is gone, having resolved into Atma. Therefore, the means and the end become one and the same. The meditator, will I go up on the,
Please read that again. Please read that last sentence again.
The meditator is Atma, and the meditated is Atma. And the attempt is called meditation. If the attempt is successful, the meditator is gone, having resolved into Atma. Therefore, the means and the end become one and the same. the meditator resolves into the very object of meditation as he or she attempts meditation. This is the situation that some people are afraid of because they feel as though they are being decimated or destroyed. Thus, some people see fear where there is no fear at all. They feel as though something is going to disappear and they retain it. In fact, the retention of the ahankara is the only source of fear there is. The ahankara itself being the source of fear. If the ahankara does not want to quit, naturally there will be some fear. This fear then is due to avichara, a lack of inquiry alone. A person who inquires is free from fear and is called vigata bhihi here. This is quite deep. The whole thing is the concept itself of how fear happens. So I would think maybe we'll continue with this tomorrow, with fear of tomorrow. Or we just do this fear of tomorrow now, and then...
Yeah, it feels like you're going to lose, we're going to lose something.
Yeah.
That's the fear, right? Like, yeah.
See, all this, unless we have ourselves meditated and experienced this, it will be only a concept. So we have to actually get into the field. Like when you're learning swimming, you have to get into the pool to know what it is, to know the ups and downs and what might happen. So, of course, most of us must be meditating, but whether we have taken note of this possible fear that might arise, possibly that might happen in deeper meditation, we don't know. So, but that this fear is there is one of the, should we call it, impediments to experiencing meditation.
2 places they mention fear, right? Even the previous sloka there, the past impressions or the past events, as they come up, also there may be some fear that
correct.
And then this is a different kind of fear that you're going to dissolve yourself or something like that.
Because we want to hold on to the ego, because that is what we think gives us security, that I. And that is why we get we're fearful when that I is getting sublimated. So it is retention of ahankara is the only source of fear there is. Ahankara itself being the source of fear. Whenever there is ahankara, there is that I and the other is there. That is when that fear is. And therefore the ahankara does not, if the ahankara does not want to quit, naturally there will be some fear. This fear then is due to avichara, a lack of inquiry alone. And for this we require the Shastra again. Lack of inquiry. Now, all the Tattva Bodha that we learned, when we do that inquiry, when we're doing that, we know that the mind, intellect, equipment, the ego sense, all that is nothing but part of the Sukshma Sharira. It is made of all the 5 great elements. And where have they come from? Where do they have their source? They have their source in Maya, which itself is Mithya. So when we keep that inquiry on, then slowly that layer by layer, that ahankara will kind of become thinner and thinner. And once that dissolves, once that it melts, it merges, then there is no fear. Shall we stop here and do this fear of tomorrow?
Yes. Yeah.
Bela, if you want to complete the verse tomorrow, that will be fine. We'll do 13, 14 tomorrow. And we'll continue from there. Today we could not do much manana, but let's do some homework. We'll do revision of Tattva Bodha and come back tomorrow.
Today's discussion was most precious actually. We need to go through it again and again. till it
Yeah, I
gets us.
think these few verses of chapter 6 are very, very important. Let's do that. Doesn't matter. We might be going back and forth, but doesn't matter. Let's get that so that we can assimilate it and make it our own.
Thank you so much.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Jai Gurudev. Dhanyavad.
Jai Gurudev.